The hero that proved hustle culture wrong. Video by Mr. Man with Love.
Monkey D. Luffy. Never quits, never doubts, never loses. And if any of you guys agree with any
Bro, he lost like 4 times in Wano.
of what I just said, we need to talk. Because these are the exact ideas that hustle culture has been selling you for years. And if you actually tried to live by them for a long time,
It's actually crazy how YouTubers are using anime to speak on like recent, the recent trend of like self-improvement and hustle culture, all of that.
we might be getting into a lot of trouble. You see, One Piece tackles hustle culture in ways we completely went over. So let's talk about it. Ever since I was a
Bro, I remember Dory and Bragi were straight up just dancing to the Nika drum beat thing. They were just dancing, bro. One Piece has been on fire lately.
kid, Zoro was always my favorite One Piece character. I mean, don't get me wrong, Luffy is the GOAT, but he always looks so stupid compared to the likes of Zoro, who always
Yeah, Zoro is basically a representation of hustle culture with him always being in the gym. Luffy is just free and he just kind of enjoys things.
grinded, get stronger. But beyond that, I could relate to Zoro. I too always wanted to be seen as the most powerful man in the room, but that was until I reached adulthood, because that's when I convinced myself that
The thing is, Zoro's probably stressed out while he's on his journey to become the world's strongest swordsman and surpass Mihawk, but Luffy he's actively enjoying the journey even if he doesn't become Pirate King. Like he's had so much fun just traveling.
the only way to be seen as truly powerful in real life was through financial freedom. But the moment I quit my job, opened a business, and made some money,
Yep.
I lost it all. Now, before I
Ooh.
explain what happened,
Okay.
let's talk about Luffy, shall we? Because throughout the show, it's not super often that we've seen him actively train to get stronger.
Yeah. That's fair.
But Oda did this strategically. He chose to focus almost entirely on Luffy's self-belief and his unabashed sense of freedom. From the moment he first jumped from the barrel without a care in the world, to punching a world noble in the face knowing full well the consequences, to declaring
Yeah, Luffy punching a celestial dragon was insane, but given that it's Luffy, who's really shocked?
war on the world government in Eni's lobby, he was always freedom itself no matter what he had to hustle through. No plan, no rationality, just a delusional.
The one thing, even though I think Naruto has a bit more depth, I'll be honest, Luffy is a better MC than Naruto just in terms of like the amount of hope that Luffy kind of just brings to people and brings to his world. While Naruto did kind of solve, all the ninja wars and he kind of brought a bit of peace to, the Leaf Village and all the villages, he still couldn't really answer Pain's question. He couldn't answer Nagato's question of, Pain's own version of justice, his village and all that. All Naruto could say was, I don't know. Just in terms of mentality, I just got to give it to Luffy. Luffy just really inspires hope. I don't know how to explain it.
Sense of confidence to move forward.
It's like, okay, to sum it up, Naruto has more depth and might potentially be better written, but Luffy works better purely as a main character, and Luffy has a better just personality and mentality overall. Like, if I could be friends with Luffy or Naruto, I would pick Luffy. But if I wanted to talk about philosophy, I would probably, speak to Naruto. The crazy part with Luffy is Luffy didn't even need he didn't really need like huge character development. Like Naruto got huge character development, especially leading up to the Pain arc, just Pain's ideology, Naruto not knowing how to answer Pain's or Nagato's question. Luffy just Luffy gets a little bit of development, but he mostly stays the same. But Luffy is still like a 10 out of 10 character, and he kind of always has been. He doesn't need development.
大怪我した年寄り。ゾンビだろどう見ても。
But now the question is,
It's kind of like the Aizen versus Meruem debate. Meruem got massive development throughout the Hunter x Hunter Chimera Ant arc, and Meruem is a 10 out of 10 villain and has great writing. But at the same time, Aizen is also a 10 out of 10 villain and has great writing, but he didn't need development. Aizen practically stayed the same throughout most of Bleach. And that's completely fine because he was already a 10 out of 10 villain. So I guess what I'm trying to say is development doesn't necessarily equate to better writing because Meruem and Aizen are both 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 villains, 10 out of 10 antagonists for their respective series. And Meruem undergoes immense character development due to the presence of Komugi, the girl that he was playing chess with, who taught him how to have empathy and be more human, versus Aizen, who literally just kind of stays the same throughout the entirety of Bleach.
would Luffy's way of life work in real life? I could
No, it would not work. Well, actually, yes, it would. I show speed, right? Don't people compare I show speed to Luffy all the time? Um, I'm gonna be honest, in a practical sense, Luffy would not work in real life, like in a practical sense. But if he became like maybe a streamer like I Show Speed or Kai Cenat or somebody, maybe he could do it.
couldn't help but to contrast Luffy to how I handled things 3 years ago. I'd work 18 hours a day because I was afraid
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's gotta suck.
stopping meant losing time and money, and I'd change things every week.
And that's the thing. You can't really be free in real life unless you have like sufficient funds. Like it really does suck, man. That's life.
In my business just because nothing was working out. I failed because every decision I've made came from fear.
疑うこともなかった己の強さ。
Yeah, you don't want your decisions coming from fear, but yeah, failure is normal. Failure actually means that you're kind of getting even closer towards your goal in a way. Like, even for YouTube, right? You upload your first YouTube video, it gets 0 views. Then you continue to upload, and eventually you gain views. Like, you have to fail in order to eventually win.
それを無情に打ち砕く手も足も出ぬ敵の数々。
But when you think about it, a lot of the top 1% in society who do succeed share a lot
Bro, I was literally thinking about Alex Hormozy, and I recently also have kind of gotten into Tony Robbins and watched some of his content, but literally when he started talking about money and failure, I thought of Alex Hormozy.
of features to Luffy. Driven but carefree,
I Show Speed.
connected but detached, fully
Oh,
committed
is that Alyssa Liu?
but never desperate.
海賊王になるのは俺だ。
She's been blowing up recently on social media. I'm a little bit confused why. I know she does like gymnastics. I guess she's really just known for like her overall ideology. She's detached from the outcome and she enjoys the process, which is awesome.
So yeah, Luffy does have the qualities expected from a top 1%, but does that mean that we should be like Luffy? Well, it depends. Are you Luffy?
I'm just glad Luffy is a main character because like with so much anime being negative, you know, like Naruto, Shippuden, Berserk, Hunter x Hunter, especially during the Chimera Ant arc when Gon defeats Pido, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, even maybe Hell's Paradise. It's just nice to kind of have one anime where it's always gonna be like decently positive, you know, and just Luffy's just positive. It's just he's a nice main character.
This might sound silly, but in the core of who you are,
He's basically like the second coming of Goku.
can you practically answer this? What does freedom mean to you? Is it the removal
And then bro, there's even I love how he brought up Attack on Titan just now. This is the founding Titan.
of every potential obstacle.
Whenever, okay, if you say the word freedom to an anime fan, they are either going to think of Luffy or Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. And people are always comparing these two main characters because they were both pursuing freedom, but they did it very differently.
Is it about having the ability to be in the present moment, or does it simply mean being free from all attachment? For Luffy,
I think it's both.
be in the present moment, or does it simply mean being free from all attachment? For Luffy, the closest freedom model that he follows is the third one, pursuing your goals endlessly but not being attached to any of it, which is a close resemblance to the Buddhistic model of freedom. But in real life, how do you achieve this level of freedom while hustling hard for your goals? How do you go about
Bro, the literal reason why Luffy's version of freedom is better than Eren Yeager's, and I will play devil's advocate because let me just say this. Eren Yeager, eh, the Attack on Titan universe is a lot more cruel. So I'm gonna give some grace to Eren because he was basically fighting against literally fate and just the universe. But the main reason why Luffy's version of freedom is better is because during the process, in the moment, even before Luffy becomes the Pirate King, if he even ends up becoming the Pirate King, he's happy, he's joyful, he's literally enjoying his life. Eren was not allowed to enjoy his life until he was able to, complete the rumbling, for example. It's just like Eren was miserable, bro. Luffy's happy, Eren was miserable.
pursuing your goals endlessly without being attached to the outcome? This is the part where I was going to say, how do you find freedom in 3 steps? But as I was writing the script,
Don't get me wrong, I feel bad for Eren, but his version of freedom sucks.
I realized Luffy just wouldn't have an answer. Asking Luffy, how do you find freedom, is like asking a fish, how do you find water? The question itself as
Yeah, if you put Luffy in Naruto's verse, like against Pain or Nagato, Luffy would literally probably not even process what Nagato was saying about the cycle of hatred and his village and stuff. Luffy would probably just beat Nagato up. He would just beat Pain up, like low key. Oh my god. Imagine Luffy in the Attack on Titan or in the Naruto Shippuden verse. That would be insane.
assumes a gap. The moment you start hustling specifically to feel free, the hustle itself becomes another cage. You're working to escape working, you grind to eventually stop grinding, you chase a finish line that just keeps moving. None of it makes any sense. So instead, here are 3 ways to hustle hard without feeling attached. Number 1, act fast on your decisions. The most successful people in the world are the ones where the time between a thought and its execution is the smallest.
I, I 100% agree on that. I think this is completely true.
When Luffy feels hungry, he eats ASAP. If he wants to stop at an island to
The thing is, society kind of teaches you to like have huge impulse control and just like be a robot, be an NPC, bro.
save Nami, he stops at that island fast. If he wants to become the king of the pirates but doesn't have a boat or a crew, he gets a boat and a crew fast.
見せてくれ俺も海へ出るぞ
Person who moves imperfectly will always outrun the person who remains still. Number 2, treat life not like a problem to be solved, but an adventure to be experienced. The moment you treat an obstacle like a playground, it loses all its power over you. When I lost everything in my business, every setback felt like the end of the world. Every month felt like the universe telling me that I wasn't built for this. But that's exactly what we tend to think when we treat obstacles as problems. In an adventure, the obstacle is just the next part of the cycle.
Yeah.
If we were to switch how we interpret it, suddenly the obstacle isn't the enemy anymore, it's now the whole point. Number 3, pursue your goals without outsourcing your identity to the outcome. Stick this to your thick
Yeah, this is a huge thing. A lot of people try and just like outsource a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be outsourcing. It should be insourced. Like you wear a suit and then you become super confident. You should just feel super confident, like insourced in general. It should be an internal thing. If you're only confident when you're wearing a suit, then are you really confident?
Skull. Winning does not make you a winner, and failing does not make you a failure. Luffy just watched Ace die in his arms. He failed to do the one mission that mattered most to him. And after all of it is done, Jinbei just sits across him and asks, "What do you still have?" And Luffy starts naming his crew.
Yeah. Bro, when I first watched this, it hit different, bro. Jinbei's goated for telling Luffy to focus on what he still has, what he can still protect. And bro, Robin's bad. I'm sorry, I had to say.
Not what he lost, but who he still is. Whether he gets the One Piece at the finish line or not, Luffy will always remain Luffy.
Low key, bro. I feel like Shanks is gonna get the One Piece, bro, because Shanks is kind of Machiavellian. He's like plotting some devious stuff. I don't know what Shanks is up to.
Now, at the end of the day, I still don't believe that there's an objective journey to find freedom, nor is there one best way about achieving your goals. Sometimes it is a very desperation.
I feel like Shanks isn't gonna claim the One Piece, but he's gonna be like sitting on it, or he's gonna be like right before Luffy reaches the One Piece. Like he's gonna be the final obstacle
Of the goal that lands you to success. I still remember pushing my homework to the very last minute, and somehow those were the best works I ever had. So maybe the
okay.
point was never to be like Luffy.
I'm a little bit surprised. Usually when you procrastinate on homework, it ends up being worse, but okay, that's cool.
Maybe the point is just to notice if your goals in life actually comes from within you, and how much of it is based on fear camouflaging as ambition. Luffy never had to kill his hustle because he never had one to begin with. He's just had a tiny bit of direction and a complete irrational sense of trust that he was the only one who could ever get the One Piece.
Damn. Bro, this video was peak, bro. Just like One Piece. Yeah, Luffy low-key has like the best mentality in anime, and I'll say this one more time. I feel really, really, really bad for Eren and just the world that he was placed into, because the AOT verse is extremely harsh, but Luffy's version of freedom is just, it's so much better. Like it's not even close.